Hello everyone, in this lab we are going to work on implementing Azure Storage access controls. Now if you're preparing for 300 or even 303 exam at this time, this is one of the relevant labs that you should be doing. And this particular lab is available on the GitHub and I'll give you the link. But what we are really going to do in this lab is to create an Azure account, storage account, upload some data to the storage account, and we are going to implement Azure Storage Access Control. And this is a very important aspect because most of the time you gotta have some data solution, right? You gotta have disks, hard disk, then file storage, then just blobs, container, SQL, a lot of different things. So this lab, it's gonna take about 30 minutes, and we're gonna use some default username and password that I'm gonna copy and put it in here so we can reuse. I'm just gonna put it here. So the first thing that we're gonna create and configure Azure Storage account. This is actually very simple to do. You can do it multiple ways. We're gonna do it from the portal. We'll just log on to the portal. We are gonna create in a new resource group. Okay, and your storage account name that has to be unique because you're gonna get URL that has to be unique and people can connect to the URL to get to your storage account. Location, we're gonna use the East US, and standard is the performance type we're gonna use. For this particular exercise, we're gonna start using general purpose V1. Now there is a reason why we're using it. This is actually not recommended that you use V1. But if you have a V1, you can upgrade that to V2. Okay, so most likely in this lab, although we are creating and starting and deploying a V1, at some portion of the lab you will see that we will upgrade that to a V2, which is the latest version of the storage account that we have. For the replication, that's also very important. You understand the difference between the LRS, which is a locally redundant storage, and GRS, RAGRS, all of that. We're gonna take a look into that. Secure transfer record, this is also not good to have it disabled. You should always, keep it enabled unless you have a very specific reason. And that setting is really also very simple. We'll take a look into that. And network connectivity, we're gonna say that everybody, all public endpoints, all networks be able to connect. Soft delete, we're gonna say it's disabled, and data look storage gen 2 also disabled, and this is also not a good thing. All right, so let's just go to our Azure environment and let's get started. So once you come to your Azure environment, just search for storage, and let's see that it has come up. So let's click on it, and we're just gonna create a new storage account. So say add. And this experience that you have, it's same with all other Azure resources. Here, this is the resource group name where we're gonna deploy this. Like you see, this matches. And so say put the name and say okay. So that's gonna create the new resource group. Storage account name. What I'll do, I'll put that name. Then test. Let's see if that name is available. Oh, actually I cannot use the dash. Name must be between 3 and 24. Is it more than 24 now? Okay, lowercase. Alright, so you're learning something. So lab. So all of your name, this one has already taken. So 1. This is available, so your name has to be unique. You cannot use uppercase letter or any kind of special characters. Okay, and we said that we are going to deploy this in the East US. Performance standard is fine. If you go to premium, there are other options available to you, but right now we're gonna do the standard. Account kind, as I said, most of the time you'll choose V2, but this time we are choosing it as V1. Replication LRS, so that's kind of what we already have, and they have said replication LRS. Now secure transfer record. So what we need to do, go to the next networking connectivity public endpoint. So that we are choosing anyway. all networks will be access the storage account. That's good. That's what we want. Public endpoint or public endpoint all networks, safe network. So we got that. So under data protection, files is soft delete, blob storage. We are all saying that is delete. It's visible. That's all good. Secure transfer required. As I said, we are instructed to disable that one as well, right? Secure transfer disabled. So let's disable that one, which is not a good thing. And I think that's all we needed to do to set up the labs, all networks, blobs of delete, data lake storage, gen 2 disable. I don't, data lake storage is already disabled for us. So yeah, so I think we are in a good set now. You can say create. So this is going to create the storage account for us. Again, this is not a recommended storage account that you should create in your own environment. This is only for the lab purpose. Okay. All right. So next, so we are done with this part. So next task, view the properties of the storage account. So the main thing that you should look at that are going to be available under the access keys blade, and where you're going to see you have option to copying values of storage account names, including key 1 and key 2 that you can use to connect to your account. And the configuration blade is also another important option, and here you will see that you have an option to perform an upgrade to general v2 account and changing the replication setting. However, you cannot change the performance setting. This can only be assigned when storage account is created. Okay, so let's see if our account creation is now done. So you can click over here. Two ways you can see here. It's saying your deployment is complete, and over here also from the notification blade that you see this deployment succeeded is available. One thing I have been complaining a lot here, this go to resource button, once the deployment complete, to me that should become clickable, just like what we have here, so that if I want I can click over here to go to my resource, but it does not happen at this time. I think someone should fix it, but that's just me. So let's go to the resource from here. Let's click over here. That's gonna take you to the storage account. Here's a storage account that we created. And access keys, as I said here, you will have two different keys. It's gonna give you the key, storage account name, connection string, and again key 2, key 1 and key 2, you have all of that. Okay. You can go to configuration. In configuration, you look at that, it says that you have an option to upgrade if you want to general purpose v2 account. Okay, and it's gonna have additional features. Now we are really not, they said that I don't need to perform that step at this time, so I'm not doing it. So let's go back to the lab. So we have reviewed. So creating and managing blobs. So this is also very important, easy to create a container. And let's create a container, lab container, and we're gonna make it a private container. Okay. So let's come back to our Azure account, and let's come back to the overview blade, and from here, containers, you can just click on it and click the container, put the name of the container, and looks like this one automatically says that you can only have private, no anonymous access. Okay, and then say create. Okay, so you have just created a container with a private access type. Now upload data to controller by using Azure portal. So what we want to do, there is a PNG file. So they have some PNG file. Let's see if we can find just a file to test. Okay, and that, well, let's get this PNG. Okay, so this, I'm just gonna search for this one and find that PNG if I have it. Alright, what I'll do, we'll just upload something. Okay, so I don't need that particular file, so we're just testing whether we can upload something in here. So just upload it. Files, I can actually upload one of my PNGs. So let's see, this is a PNG file that I want to upload. Alright, so let's upload that one. and just click on it, upload complete, there is your upload available. Okay, so access content of Azure Storage account by using SaaS token. So this is very important. Now this image that you have uploaded, but you have created as a private, so how can you access this one? Now let's do this. So let's go back to the blob. Okay, so this is the blob container. Okay, let's close this. From the blob container, what do we need to do? We are going to start a Microsoft Edge. We don't need, Firefox is just fine. I did a URL of the new uploaded blob. So what you need to do, you can let's click on this. It gives me the URL in a little bit better format here. So this is the URL. Okay, so this big long URL, that's where we have uploaded the file. So let's save that one as well. So what you would think, if I go to this URL, I should have access, but let's open a private window. Okay, and then put it here and then try to access. Now see, public access not permitted. Why? Because I said that only private people can access that. Now in this browser session, I'm already logged in. Can I go to this image? No, I can't. So even though I myself uploaded that image, even I cannot go directly and access the image. And that's a very, very important feature of this storage account that you should understand. So you have to explicitly give yourself roles and permissions, even though you upload the own file, before you can access it. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's go back to the lab. So here they are saying make sure that resource not found, error message. This is expected because the blob is residing a private container which requires authenticated access. Very good. Then how do you access this one? Switch to the generate SaaS tab. So that's where the storage access, what is that, SaaS? Let me come back. There's so many different things I keep forgetting. So over here, let's see if I have a go actually over here. Here, generate SaaS. Okay. Alright, shared access signature. So that's the name I keep forgetting. So what you need is a shared access signature to this file. There are other ways to get to this, but this is the most secure way and recommended way that you should do. What it is, it's a URI that grants restricted access rights to Azure Storage resources. A specific blob in this case, you can provide, but whom you wish to delegate access to certain storage resources. By distributing a shared access signature URI to these clients, you grant them access to resources for a specific period of time. Okay, for example, here let's see what are they asking us to do. Enable the HTTP option and generate SaaS token and corresponding URL. Alright, so come over here. HTTP option is enabled, and before you click on it, so basically you're saying that yeah, I'm going to start the access 7/12, that is today, and expiry 7/13, that is tomorrow, and it's starting now to sometime, and I'm saying okay, allowed protocol is HTTPS. Let's see, it's asking us to allow HTTP option. Okay, enable HTTP option, so let's enable that one. And you see signing key is key 1, and I'm just gonna say generate SaaS token and URL. So it has created now a SaaS token and the blob SaaS URL. Now how do you use that? So let's come back over here. Note that you can view the in the navigation URL generated, navigate to the URL generated in the previous tab. So come back over here. So the URL, the SaaS URL that you have created is over here. So let's copy this one. Now over here, this is not a private window. Let's paste the whole big long thing and click on it, and here we go. There's actually a poem in Bengali that I wrote. So if you access from here, let's make sure that some other person who is not logged in can access this one too, and look at that. So this image, that's my beautiful poem, that's going to be available for 1 day, and I have given a SAS token in here, and in this one I'm giving the access and policy, and it actually has all the rules and everything that that I have provided to Microsoft. I configured and said, Microsoft, do it this way. So this is a very cool feature to secure your storage account and provide restricted access to your storage content. Alright, so we have done that. Now the next thing we're going to look at is access content of Azure Storage account by using SAS token and a storage access policy. Now what is a storage access policy? Let's learn about that. So let's go back to our containers. So over here, let's see, where exactly do I need to go? On the we just need to go to the access policy blade. So let's go to that container. I have only one container. In here, you look at the access policy, you can click on the policy. The policy is actually a better way to manage. You know, if you are providing access to multiple different resources, you can manage that with a policy how long this access is to be granted. Okay, so if you change it in one place, say you want to give access to a whole bunch of resources for the next 30 days, that's all. So instead of creating your SAS token and always specifying the time, you say, okay, I'm creating the SAS token, but just go ahead and use this policy. There are other benefits too. If you want to change anything within the policy, you don't have to recreate the SAS token. You can just change the policy, and that will probably help, you know, secure your account. So let's look at the lab some more. So here we're going to create a policy with read access and expiry time, current date plus 24 hours. So let's see if we can do that. Okay, create a policy. Identifier, they're saying use lab container read. So let's do that. And permissions is the read permission is the only permission that we're going to do. And today is this, and expiry, so tomorrow, and yeah, that's fine. Okay, and once you have that, you can say okay to create the policy and then save. Okay, so let's see, just to be, you know, a little bit more generous, I'm going to change that and make it 14. So I have 2 more days instead of 1 day, and say okay, and then remember to save your policy as well. So that's is gonna store the policy for me. Okay, this is the policy that I have. So once we have that, so we are done up to this step. In Azure portal, start a PowerShell session. You are presented with a note. So this is something, if you have never had a storage account, you will be asked to do that. If you have a storage account, you don't have to do it. And then we're gonna run a PowerShell command, and this PowerShell command is gonna get the resource, the storage account name within this resource group, and put it in a variable called storage account. So this is pretty easy. So let's click on the Cloud Shell, and it looks like it's putting me inside the bash environment, but I want the PowerShell. So let's just click on PowerShell, let's say confirm, and it should take me back within the PowerShell window or PowerShell environment. In here I'm going to run the command like this, and this should store. And now let's see, it's probably echo is still gonna work. Storage account. Okay, so this one it has stored all of the information in here. Okay, I wish I could just do something like a dollar storage account. I'm more this one is also giving me the whole information that's just like this one did. So I'm more like a Linux person, so I just do everything with eco. So pretty much what it did, it stored the information uh, of the storage account, and I thought it should only store 0 means the first element, but maybe it's storing more than that. Okay, so we make sure that we have ran the right command and we had the 0 at the end. Yes, we did. Okay, so we feel good about that. So next what we need to do, we are going to get the security context granting full control to the storage account. So let's get the context. So to do that, what you need to do, you need to run the next command, which is going to be this key context storage account dot context. So it's now is getting the context. Now I'm going to do that same thing again at key context, and now it looks like it's got all of the context: blob endpoint, the table endpoint, the queue endpoint, the file endpoint, and the storage account. Okay, storage account name, context name, endpoint suffix, connection string. All of that information is now stored with this key context variable. Okay, so that's pretty good. From here, run the following to create a blob specific token based on access policy you created. So this is going to create a token that's going to use the policy that I have created in the previous step. Alright, once I have that, what we can do, we can run the following to establish security context. So let's go back and run this. Once we have that, then I'm gonna get that Azure Storage Bob context and look at that. It's actually trying to get this particular image, which we do not have. We have a different image, so we need to change our command just a little bit, because that file we have never uploaded. We have uploaded something called boot, then hit enter. Uh-oh. It said that we don't have access, and let's verify you successfully access the web email closer. I'm just trying to see if anywhere else. Yeah, this is the problem that I have. So the SAS token we generated is to access this particular image which we do not have. So let's go back and let's quickly fix the problem that I have. Okay, so let's paste the command over here and let's create the image token to access the right image. So that should be BUT. Okay, then we go back and run this one. So this one should work better for me, and then the last command that I need to run is Azure blob storage. So Azure blob storage, I think this is the one. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now it's been succeeded. It's telling me this is the image, and when it's last modified is deleted. No, so its image is still there. So again, if you're using some other image, just make sure to change your image name for these two particular command and you should be fine. So we have done up to this far that everything is working for us and we can connect to our image. Invalidate a SAS token by modifying its access policy. As I said, you can change, you have given the access, but if you want, you can change the access policy and it will invalidate your access. So what are you going to do? We are just going to run this command, blob this context, SAS context. Oh, so first it's telling me go ahead and change the policy and put the expiry date as yesterday's date. So let's go back to the access policy again. We're gonna edit this one, and if I change this to say 11, that's weird. 11 is not gonna work. So say okay. So this one I'm gonna make it 5. So I can choose a date that's already in the past. So I did that. So this access policy is now something that's in the past. So now what do you think if I rerun the command again and try to get to that image? Here we go. So now we cannot image that. Why? Because now I have a policy that's been expired. So that's the beauty of using policies. So if you know there is something going on and you want to, restrict other people accessing your files, instead of going to every single files and fixing your SAS token, you can just go to the policy and update the policy, and that way you can take care of your problem, your access issues. Really great feature from Microsoft. So that's all we needed to do in this particular exercise. At this time, what I want to go, we just want to delete all the lab resources that we have. So if you run this particular command, I think they're running CLI command. So let's see. Yeah, this is CLI command. So all you need to do, if you want to run the exact same command, you can also write PowerShell, but since the lab using CLI, let's use CLI. And what it's doing, AZ group list is going to list all the group, and any resource group that start with AZ30002 is going to show up in here in a table format, output TSV. So this is the resource group name. Now once we know that this is going to have only one resource group, this command is going to delete all the resources that we have created inside that resource group. So what it's doing, so this portion we already know it's going to return this, and you're passing this resource group and you're saying, hey, AZ group delete, okay, and no wait, yes, that means it's going to happen in the background, and you have the command shell back to yourself. Alright everyone, that's all for this particular lab. Do your storage exercise a lot many times and understand the difference between SAS and storage keys, and difference between containers and file storage, blob storage, queue storage, all of that, and be very comfortable. And look at your settings, how to make your systems more secure. One thing we haven't done, although we have started deleting, just try out if you can upgrade your storage account to V2. Change your HTTPS setting, set it to in a place, set it like a change, and make sure that you can let's see if it's still available, we can still give it a try. No, it's already gone, our delete process. So what I'm saying is it will be over here, and configuration, okay, secure transfer required, this is enable, and we disable that one. Make sure that just play with all these things a little bit more, be comfortable, be confident. Okay, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and very good luck with the exam. Thank you.